Hurry into Old Navy this Saturday for a one-day denim deal you can't miss. Jeans are just $10 for women, $7 for kids. That's right, one day only. This Saturday, get $10 denim at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Valid 3-2, select styles only.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, friends and family, and welcome to Straight Talk. I'm Ted Santos, and I'm co-hosting with Blair Nash. Say hello, Blair.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's had a great week. Hello and good evening.
Well, Blair, we've had some controversy. Last week we had a conversation that was pretty controversial, and I think this one is going to be even more based on the feedback. Some women have even questioned whether men can actually have this conversation. So, and I'm going to say, without question, men can, because we're asking, why do women choose the wrong men? And sometimes the wrong guy is just really the wrong guy. The woman can be hurt, physically abused, but it's not always the case of physical abuse. It's just the wrong guy, because a woman thinks that she can often take a rough diamond and polish a diamond in the rough and polish him up. So she looks for the bad boy. You know, and in some cases I can understand why a woman would choose a bad boy with some of the expectations she may have, and those expectations may be more primal than most people realize. So we're going to dive into this, and some of you guys who may consider yourself the bad boy, I'd love to have you guys call in, or some of you guys who have sort of positioned yourself to appear to be a bad boy and learn bad boy ways. Love for you to call in and talk about your side of the story and how women are not always as innocent as they believe they are. You want to add to that, Blair?
Yeah. And let me clarify something that you say, and I just want to, just for perspective purposes, when you say innocent, I don't want women to kind of go onto the defense. But yeah, you are correct in the aspect that, there's kind of always been a running joke that I think that's kind of been among men. You hear a lot of times when women say, well, these guys out here are no good. They're not together. They don't have their finances together. They're not good providers. They don't, take care of the family. They don't do this. They're not loyal, et cetera, et cetera. And you almost could buy that if it wasn't for the fact that when they're almost darn near every time you turn around, you see a whole legion of women who are pregnant. So it's kind of like, wait a minute. So on one hand, there's no good guys who are loyal and, guys cheating, whatever, but there's always women who seem to pop up pregnant. And the thing is, they always are pregnant by guys who they claim are not really good guys. So that's where I think the missing piece is. So, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about this evening. We're going to kind of pull back the curtain and kind of understand why women keep picking the same guys over and over and over again. You hear me talk a lot of times, Ted, about, what does, you may say, I want a good guy, I want a guy who's loyal, I want this, I want that. But what does your dating resume say? How does your dating resume look? If I can look on your dating resume and each and every guy that you've dated has not been what you say that you wanted, then something's not coming together, because now you have 10, 15, 20, 25 years of opportunity to kind of pull it together. So why is it that you are not meeting those kind of men? So why do women continuously pick the wrong kind of guy? So you're absolutely right.
So, and I'd like to say something, and we're going to start taking some calls. I'll just say this. When I was about 9, my mother thought it would be a great idea if my brother and I learned to play tennis. I actually had no interest in playing. I didn't want to play tennis, but I took the lesson, and I actually didn't take it seriously. So when we were learning, how to hit the ball and backhand and all that, I would intentionally not only hit the ball over the net, I'd hit it over the fence, and usually the fence in the tennis court is pretty high. So I hit the ball over the fence, high, it was fun. Well, I didn't know our tennis instructor was going to set up matches between us, and it was not just my brother and I. It was a few of us, all around the same age, taking tennis lessons. So when he started setting up matches for us to play, I had now developed a bad habit of hitting the ball too high. So when he put us in doubles and I now had such a bad habit that I just kept hitting the ball over the fence, and it was frustrating to my partner on my team because I was hitting the ball, I was hitting the ball incorrectly. So sometimes, I'm not going to say sometimes, whatever you practice today is what you're going to be doing tomorrow. So I practiced playing tennis wrong, and not only did it end up hurting me then, years later, in my early 20s, I remember meeting a woman who was a semi-pro tennis player. And part of my, getting to know her was, hey, I can play, let's go on the court. And, man, when I got out there, she just said, you suck, you're horrible. So she actually had to, come up to the net like I was a little baby and hit the ball to me lightly and teach me. So I want to use that as an analogy as, if you're a woman and you keep picking the wrong guy, you're developing habits. Just like I developed bad habits playing tennis, you're developing bad relationship habits. And when you finally meet the right guy, you're going to have all these habits that you don't know how to undo. Now, if I wanted to undo those habits, that woman who was a semi-pro, she could have easily taught me. Now, if I would have gone on the defense and said, I know what I'm doing, I don't need you to show me, I would have been like a bad student. I would have looked kind of like an idiot because I really was doing a bad job. So sometimes there are women who get into a relationship with bad guys, and then they meet the right guy, but they're bringing those bad habits from the bad relationship and don't realize that they're treating this, what you call a good guy, who's got his head together and job and he takes care of himself. And they are now sort of confusing, or not even confusing. It's like you program your brain to engage a man in a certain way, sort of a stimulus response. He says something and you already know how to respond and don't realize that it's appropriate. But you're kind of stuck with that way of being, just like I was stuck with hitting the ball over the fence. And I basically would have to unlearn hitting the ball over the fence. And I don't know if a lot of women are, we say women are more mature and they're smarter than men, but when you program your brain to function that way and you get into a relationship with a good guy and can't undo it yourself, you're bringing your bad habits, and when the relationship goes south with the good guy, now you start blaming men. And you have what you're saying, Blair, is they start saying there aren't any good men out there. And they don't realize that just like in tennis, you have to develop skills and competencies. Relationships require skills and competencies also.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a very good analogy about hitting the ball over the fence and kind of doing it on purpose. I'm still trying to kind of digest that, but that's a very good point. Yeah.
Well, and see, for me to unlearn it, I would have to be receptive to someone who knows better than me, and that the woman who I met really could have taught me, and we were on the court. Now, the one good thing she said, well, at least you had the guts to get out there with me and play. She just said, but you really suck. You're not good. So I explained to her how I developed the bad habit, and I was never offended by her saying I wasn't good because I knew what I had done. So when the question is, if a woman does get into a relationship with a bad guy or a few bad guys, is she willing to allow that guy to guide her, or is she going to be like, well, I know what I'm doing, I know myself, and be more defensive and antagonistic? And I know you asked a woman a few weeks ago, do you think most women understand men? And if you don't understand men and you've gotten into a relationship with the wrong guy, you're really going to have a tainted viewpoint of men and relationships, and so you really have to unlearn that.
Yeah, you're absolutely. Yeah, you're right. It's a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior of always having those type of men that you know, a lot of women don't really want to admit, like, yes, I'm constantly picking wrong men, because basically what that they have to just get to an understanding that their picker, is what I call, is broken. And a lot of our women don't want to admit that. They want to feel like they have all the answers, etc. But it's like your dating history doesn't show that. All the men that you've dated, you claim are not good men, but yet you claim that you have cheat codes to how to get a man and keep a man. So something's not coming together. You're absolutely right.
So I have more to say about this, Blair, but let's see. You know, I want to see if we have any guys out there who have portrayed themselves as the bad boy. I'd love some of them to call in and talk about how women have intentionally chosen them. You know, I mean, you choose a guy and you know he's potentially a criminal. You call him a thug. I mean, he presents himself as a bad boy. You know, he's been in prison for some, whether it's murder or robbery or something, conspiracy to distribute drugs, and you date that guy, knowing his history and the possible outcome of the relationship. And he may not treat you the way you want to be treated. So why is it women will flock to that guy? You know, I have some perspectives I've shared with women, but if there's a guy out there who calls himself the bad boy, I'd like to hear from them. So do we have any callers on the line?
Yeah, let's. We have a couple of them. Give me a second. Hold on just a minute. Caller, you are on the air. Area code 702 area code. Go right ahead.
We have a 702 on the air. Maybe
Hello,
they just want
caller,
to listen.
are you there?
So.
Okay, all right. Let's go to the next one. All right. Caller, area code 614. 614, you are on the air. Go right ahead. Hello, 614 area code. Go right ahead. Okay, let's try another one. Hold on just a minute. We have area code 205. Go right ahead. You are on the air live.
Hey, how are y'all?
Hello, how are you? Who's calling?
This is Tay.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Tay, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I'm coming in on the late end.
Tay, where are you calling from, first of all?
Birmingham, Alabama.
You're in Alabama, okay. All right, awesome. I don't know if you have had a chance to listen, but tonight our topic is, why did women choose the wrong guys? What's your take on that? Why do women, you hear women say all the time, that, they kind of put the onus on the men, but there are a lot of good men out here. Why do you think women continuously kind of select from a pool of men who are really not that good? Why do you think that is? Or give me your impression. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I guess it would depend on the woman and what she thinks a good man is.
Okay.
Well,
so,
if she says he's not a good guy, so it doesn't matter what a woman says. So the woman who says I'm with a good man is with a good man. The woman who says she's not with a good guy, he's the wrong guy, and she keeps picking the wrong guys, that doesn't matter what the rest of us think, but if she thinks it's the wrong guy, it's the wrong guy. So why do you think women would end up with someone they call the wrong guy?
I think depending on who the woman is, that she says, okay, this is the kind of guy that I want, but that's not exactly what she wants. So some women want a guy that's got the money, no kids, great job, and all of this, but they don't really run into that. So it could be out of habit. I would say women pick the wrong men, or the wrong man for them out of habit, because it's something that they're used to. an example of that I would give is when a woman is always with a man that beats her.
Right.
It's
okay.
like that's she's used to a man that beats her, so when she gets with a man that treats her right and doesn't beat on her, she may or may not stay with him because she's just so used to a man disrespecting her. So I think a lot of times people choose, or women choose, the wrong man because it's just habit. It's just habit. Sometimes it's habit. Sometimes they think they can't do any better. Sometimes it could be their circumstances, and sometimes it could be what they grew up with.
So you said something important. So two things. They may have grown up with it, right? So for all the people who have children, understand that one of the things you can be doing is training your daughter to choose this kind of guy because that's what she grew up with. That's her environment. She may even confuse that with love or caring. But you also said sometimes they don't think they can do better. What do you mean by that?
Okay. Let me see. An example could be somebody that has maybe a lot of kids, and they may feel like a man that has more than them may not want to deal with somebody that has a lot of kids, so they will deal with a man that will treat them wrong, per se, or he's just that type of man. Okay, he's got a regular job, and it's a $8 9-hour job. I'm not saying that makes a man bad, but she may not feel like she's good enough, like they won't accept who she really is. So you go with what you used to do. You go with what you think will accept what you have.
Interesting. Okay. And that could be a hard pattern to break once you go down that path. What do you think? Did you?
In order to break it, I think you have to want to break it, and then you need to see what your flaws is to understand how to get a better man. So, gosh, I wish I could explain this right. I'm not really explaining it well.
No, give us a shot. Blair's a smart guy. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know about all that, but let me ask you a question, Ted. You have obviously different women friends or whatever, your girls. What do you see as a collective? And I'm not asking you to pick one out or pick a particular person, but as a collective, do you find that they typically go after the wrong guys? Do they allow the wrong guys to be available to them, or what's your take on it? What do you see in the dating world out here?
Yeah, I mean, the dating world. So with the friends and everything that I have, I don't think everybody chooses the wrong man because you can pick men that are all different, but they end up having a common denominator. God, so I don't.
Okay.
They can have a common denominator. So everybody you talk to may all have different careers. Some may have kids, some may not have kids. And you go after this man, or he comes after you because you feel like he's really great, he's a sweetheart, he does all of these things for you. But in the end, they make a common denominator. They're a compulsive cheater.
Okay.
So,
all right, cool.
The dating world, I think it just depends. I don't think it's just one set way to say. Unless you just always go after drug dealer, dope boys, or always go after extremely rich men. I think it just depends on the situation, because some people will say I'm with a good guy, but I don't feel like they're a good guy.
You said you don't feel like there's any good guys?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I just want to. You said you don't feel like there's any good guys. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Oh no, I didn't say that. I think there's a lot of great guys.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think there's a lot of great guys. I just feel like if he's going to be that great guy to you.
Okay. Right. Okay. He may be great for someone, but not great for you.
Right.
Gotcha. So let me just interject and say I have a number of calls holding. We will get to you, I promise. Just hold the line. So go right ahead, Ted.
That's fine.
Sure. So I want to ask you a question. So do you think most women want to be with a good guy or a great guy? Okay, I know it seemed like an obvious question, right? Well, then let me ask you: do you think most women are prepared to give a great guy what he wants? Do you think most women know what a great guy needs from a woman?
I think it depends on what that great guy wants, because nobody wants the same thing.
I understand, but we've had other shows, and we've talked about how as little boys, I'm comfortable to say all men have heard what you're supposed to do for a woman. Buy flowers, hold doors, pay for dinner, the movies, and then we learn about how we're supposed to be a great lover and foreplay and make love and all this stuff. But I don't hear about women learning about what they're supposed to do for a great guy aside from sex and maybe cooking. Do you think most of your friends have learned about what they're supposed to do for a great guy?
Yeah, but I feel like they have learned, but it depends on the requirements of that great guy.
Well, so you think most women, out of your friends, your group of friends, you all talk about the things that you know you're expected to do as a woman for a great guy? You all have those conversations?
Yeah, like we know what each person wants, but like I say, everybody is different. So like I may be with this one supposedly great guy, and he doesn't want me to cook. He just may want me to rub his feet and call him handsome and tell him he's a great guy. Then I might be with another guy that expects me to cook. So
what else? What are the other things aside from cooking and sex? What are the other things that you would have learned to do for a great guy?
Me personally, for a great guy, I feel like you need to motivate him.
Okay.
I think you need to put him back when he's down. I think you need to be a ride or die to a certain extent.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You need to be what?
A ride or die to a certain extent.
A ride or die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense? You know what that is?
I mean, I've heard it. That maybe is a topic for another conversation, especially we have so many callers. But
yeah, ride or die is someone who kind of is in your corner no matter what. They don't question. They're just there, and they, no matter what, they are there for you. Yeah. So
no, I understand that. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I mean that I think it has other connotations. It's more defensive than someone being by your side.
Right.
It's how you, because we had a guy, Carell, talk about building a legacy,